This is the theme song from H.R. Pufnstuf, written in 1969 by szarvas, but also credited to Paul Simon because it sounds just like Feeling Groovy. I've got it capoed up here on the 5th fret. Everything I say will be relative to this capo. So if I say I'm playing a C, it's going to look like this. The reason I have it capoed here on the 5th is that's the same key that they play it in on the show if you want to play along with the video. And I've got my magic flute to help me out. It starts off with this 1-4-5, which is similar to Feeling Groovy by Paul Simon. I'm going to show it with just a bass and a melody in the instructional. You can add any of the strings in between if you like. It starts off on this C chord into a G chord. And what that is a C. The melody is E, and then it goes to the G chord where the melody's on your D note on the 2nd string, and then goes back to the C where the melody is C, D, and then back to the G chord where the melody's on the B note, 2nd string. And then it repeats. And again. And then this 4th time, there's a D chord. I'm starting off with a D in the bass and an A in the melody. B, C, back down to the A, to this F sharp, and then to the G, with the melody on the D. When I get down to this F sharp, I'm also hitting the 5th fret on the 5th string. And before I get to my G chord. And then when it goes with this follow through break, and what that is a C playing the E in the melody, D, B, G, and then goes to a D chord, hitting the A, the F sharp, and back to the G chord, with the melody on your G note. Moves into the next section of the song. And what you're doing there is a G chord. And that's a G, B, D, B. And then you move to this A minor 7th chord, hitting your C note, A note, F sharp, A, D. And you do that twice. To this next section, and that's a G chord with your melody is D, B, E, D, and then you move to a C chord, hitting a C twice, staying on the C chord, A, and the melody there is C, A, D, C, and then it goes down to the G chord again, with your melody on the B note. And then it goes to this final run on this part. And that's a G chord with the melody G, A, B, and then to a D chord with the melody on the A, F sharp, and then the G note. And then I do this little run, E seventh, A seventh, D, G. And then it moves to this next part starts with a G minor. So it's a G in the bass, and you're just walking up your third string from G to A sharp. So it's alternating the G and the D there in the bass. And then it moves to a B flat chord. And there in the B flat, I'm playing the third string, second string on the first fret, keeping my bar down. And then the second string, keeping my bar down on the second string. And then you move to a D chord, but you're not playing the first string. You're just playing the D. So you're playing the second, third, and fourth strings. And then you can D and move it to a D seventh and back to a D. And then you can move it from a D to a D sharp. So in context, that all looks like this. And then it goes back to the second part. And then who would get there first? I put a G7th in there. And then I move to this E flat. So if the E flat is like a D moved up one, I'm not playing the first string. So it's the second and third strings. And then I move to like this C minor 6 chord. And these notes for this C minor 6 is just like a D7th. Here on the second string is the first fret, third string, the second fret. But I'm usually just playing 2 strings. You do that twice, and then you move to a G minor chord. And there you're playing the second and third strings. And then back to this E flat. And then to a D chord, where you're not playing the first strings, so your melody's on this D, and then you slide the D up. This is this D note way up here. And then it goes back to HR pufnstuf.